Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm Ruth Carter, the Liberty Coach, and I'm here with a special Parenting Live. Yes, we're still in January 2021, and I have written a lovely blog on the new year, new plan, and we're focusing on the family plan. Today, I have a wonderful guest, someone that is very special to me. I sometimes refer to her as the 2.0 of me. She is an entrepreneur. She is my daughter, and her name is Issa George. So please give her a warm welcome as I introduce her to the platform. Welcome, Issa.
Hi.
Lovely to have you here today. I really appreciate you giving up your time because I understand that you're at university and you're very, very busy. But I wanted to have a quick discussion this evening with you and the viewers because it's been a hot minute since I've been on the platform. And I really wanted to kick off talking about the family plan. And what is it? It's not about making babies. It is about our goals, where we want to be in our future, things that are looking to achieve and strive for. Now, I was trying to figure out when I might have started this with the children, and I'm thinking it could have been around 7 years or so ago, because at that stage we had taken a bit of a turn in our lives in terms of, we were going through some challenging times, the teenage years, and sometimes as parents, you may find that you're very distant from your children. In fact, you might not even know them or what they like. What we found is doing this family plan gave us an excuse to talk, to find out what was going on and how things are. It just so happens that Isha is independent. She doesn't live with me. She runs her own life, but she still checks in with me about her family plan. I am guessing it is much more to do with her cat, Versace, than as to what I'm doing. But I do appreciate your input when you do share that with me. So, Isha, the reason why I wanted you to share just a snippet of why you contribute to the family plan, even though you're independent. You called me a couple of weeks ago when you was in Dominica and you just was like, Mum, this is what I'm doing. Why did you feel the need to do that? Let the audience know.
Okay, so I feel like having a family plan is about creating generational wealth. For like everyone has a part to play and a role to play to society and to their family. So it's always good to um ask you like family friends or family about your plan because obviously my mum's quite experienced in business and stuff like that. So I always like to go to her when it comes to certain business streams that I want to get into, whether it be finance or hair or other stuff like motivational speaking. So I always kind of keep my mum in the loop because obviously my mum's quite experienced before me. My mum used to do hair roughly the same age as me or a little bit
Yeah.
younger. So she was working in the hair salon, so she's quite experienced in those things. So it's always good to, you know, talk about those things, get advice, and also think about planning on the way forward because obviously techniques that we use as hairdressers in this day and age to techniques they used in a much more olden time is completely different from the 90s styles to 2000 early late 2000s and stuff like that. So it's always good
Mhm.
to keep my mum in the loop about business and just share ideas to help grow to our knowledge and just grow when it comes to business. So yeah,
Well, you
that's
know
it.
what, Isha? You are a young entrepreneur. You have got your fingers in a few pies. And I really think I look at you at your age, and I sometimes think to myself, oh, I wish I did that when I was younger.
Mm.
But I'm very, very grateful for the changes that I made so that you and your brother can be where you are currently now. You both are so much further down the line than where I was at your age. And I think as parents, we do want to see our children succeed. We want to see them, develop and grow in their own unique way. So when you discussed with me about your part in the family plan, you focused a lot on the finances. When I was doing it with your brother, I was more kind of checking in to see what was his plans for the whole of the 2021. Yes, we are in another lockdown, but it doesn't mean you cannot create the life that you want. What do you want to see happening? And then for me as mum and all of us, we can check in. You can ask me, Mum, how are you getting on? Because you know I'm more focused now on a health plan for myself. You can ask me, Mum, how are you getting on with that? How are things getting on? And we can develop a conversation. And I think if there's one key element in respect of how we do our family plans, it is about enhancing our communication. Would you agree, Ishay?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would definitely agree.
Because then therefore, like, we get times when we get stressed, right? And there are times where we may have written our plans down, because you're very good at this and I really admire you for this. When you have your ideas, I'm always seeing you put it into writing, which is the right thing to do. It's actually biblical as well. And having a plan where you can see it, then eventually your hopes, your dreams, your aspiration is that you then take the steps to attract and bring to you what you want. Now you have a hair business which is successful and it's growing. And how long have you had your business now for, Ishay?
I've only had my business for a year, um, and that was literally just before the lockdown started. So it hasn't been easy, but it's just finding new ways to keep my business alive, keep my business running, and just, still produce a good customer service to people and stuff like that, and bring something new to the table when it comes to doing hair. So yeah.
And then, so you're doing the hair business, you're at university, you also sell eyelashes, is that
Yeah,
right?
I do mink
So,
lashes as well.
and you're an up and coming fashion designer as well.
Yeah.
So I can see how all your things link. Now, can I share this little thing? We was not doing the family plan back then, but I had an inkling about your career aspirations from way back when you were about the age of 2. When you remember the Black Bratz dolls,
Yeah.
you used to take off the clothes of the Bratz dolls and you used to use your socks and design your own kind of wares for the dolls. Now, you used to, they used to come with nice little things. They had its own car and everything. And you'd come to me as a 2-year-old child and you'd be like, Mom, look at this, look at that, look at that. And I would be like, oh yeah. But I couldn't see what you could see. But clearly, from that young age, your imagination was kicking in into your creative. And as the years have gone on, things like your drawings, oh my gosh, phenomenal. Do you know what I
Thank
mean?
you.
I do not have that talent, but you clearly do. And then putting your ideas and getting the materials and sewing up your garments and putting it out there. I am, as your mum, really impressed with that. So why am I encouraging you to have a family plan, you might be asking? The reason is simple: to create better communication with your family, your loved ones, the children that you have brought here on the earth, to get a deeper insight as to who they are and what they actually really like and what they want to do in their future. And it also allows you as the parent to support them. Now, I don't know, if I told my mom and dad I want to be a fashion designer, they might have said, go get a proper job. But I realized the key of not crushing your child's dreams, because I wanted to be an actress when I was younger. And that dream was just crushed by, it was one of my dad's friends that said, that's not a proper job, and what are you going to do when they offer you sex scenes? And that just put me right off. I just was like, I'm not doing this now. I think it's really important to support your children, your young people, your young adults, because even though they leave the house, that it doesn't stop there, does it, Ishay?
No.
Do you still need the support and the encouragement?
Yeah, definitely. You're always gonna need guidance. I think a wise person says you're always gonna be a learner. You're always gonna need to learn things, and there's always gonna be someone out there, whether it be family or friends, that are gonna be able to give you that guidance and help you in the long run. So yeah, you're always gonna need family when you leave the house. It doesn't matter how old you are, really. You're always
Mm.
gonna need that guidance or that wisdom to just kind of guide you where you need to be in your journey. So yeah.
And it's funny you say that because, like, you went to visit my parents recently, came back last week, and this is not just from me, this is from my siblings as well. We thank you for taking that journey and going out there, looking after them, making sure everything was all right, reporting any concerns or anything back. And also, thank you for bringing the walker to my mum
Mm.
because she desperately needed it. And we just appreciate you, Ishay, for doing that. When I called you the other day, when I was having some challenges with a young person, I wanted
Yeah.
you to talk about, helping them to turn things around. Like when things are not going great, it's not going great. Can you just share what is it that allowed you to turn your life around to where you are now today?
I think just planning, writing down, like you said, I do. Like I like to write things down. I like to do my affirmations and stuff like that. I think just writing your thoughts on a paper, like getting it out there and really addressing the root to your issues or whatever's going on. And just talking to friends, loved ones help me through my dark place. But generally, I would say writing and going to college and stuff like that, because that's when I was obviously living in shared accommodation. So when I used to go to college, I used to put my mind focus into work. When I get back home, I used to just write things that I would like to do, whether it be in a month's time or a year's time or 10 years time. I always just used to write my thoughts and feelings and the goals that I had. So I definitely say writing was the main thing for me. So
And when you used to live in the shared accommodation, do you know what I used to notice? Your little board, you had that board, and you had loads of different things written on there. So
yeah,
it's
Mac
like
boards.
I'd walk into your room and I could see your plan, if that made
Yeah,
sense. I knew, even down to bills,
yeah,
things that needed to be paid when they needed to be paid, even though you had things set up by direct debit, you were just having it there as a visual, but also, some of your affirmations, like you said, your creative ideas and things like that was all on your board. Do you still have that board? Have you now committed just to writing on paper?
I write it on paper. So I have my little booklet and I write everything on my booklet. Because how I like my house, I don't like anything up on the walls, really. I like my walls to be quite plain. So I just write everything in my book. Yeah.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So, for you parents out there, if you are struggling at all with the homeschooling, one of the things that I was able to ascertain from the family plan for my son was he's not really keen on engaging in homeschooling. Now, Isha, you're doing your university online,
Mm.
colleges are online, schools are online. How are you feeling about it? Honestly.
Um, Honestly, I really don't like it. It's just not having that support. I feel like when you get told a piece of information, your interpretation of that information you've been given can be two completely different things. I think that what I miss about uni was, that thrill. Everything's hands on. You kind of feel like there's people around you, so you feel that teamwork. Where even if you're like a bit behind on work or you might be struggling with something, there's someone there to say, "Oh, it's this," or oh, it's that, and you can just kind of build together. Whereas when you're at home, you're literally on your own trying to figure it out. You don't have really the support, like even that there's support put in place with video, Zoom call, but it's just missing that human contact, missing using the facilities. You know, our university has great facilities. We have a whole block like with 4 floors just dedicated to the fashion students, and having that taken away where you don't have a fashion shoot studio, you don't have a proper camera, you don't have all your equipments that you need, and like just the lack of resources, the lack of teaching, it's not happening 24/7. It's kind of hard. It is. And even with classmates, you know, there's classmates that could be ahead of you, there's classmates that could be a bit behind you, there's classmates that are on the same level as you where you are at work wise. And when you're at class, all it takes is just have a conversation and be like, oh, what do you do with X, Y, Z? And the problem gets solved. When you're here, it's like you don't actually know anybody in your class. So right now, I'm not really knowing much people in my class because obviously we don't talk. So I'm missing out on friendships that I could have created to kind of work as a team. And you just miss out a lot of those things, which I feel like is a struggle. And yeah, just doing it by yourself, because there's a lot of uni students that are in my position. They live by themselves, they live independently. You know, not everybody's local, everyone's in London, so you're just kind of by yourself doing a bunch of work. So it's not ideal. And then having to pay for full tuition fee and not actually getting everything out of your education as a bummer, it kind of sucks. So yeah, it's a struggle, but you know, we keep going through. Like I went through my had my last project, I did really well. I produced the garment and stuff like that, and I continue to do like whatever obstacles come my way, I still continue to overcome them, because at the end of the day, you just try to get as much help with what you have. But yeah, being in university was much more easier. It was much more realistic because it's such a technical course. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Definitely.
But you know, I'll be here to support you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You
But
know, to
it's
help guide you
yeah, it's hard.
as best
It's
as I
harder
can.
said than done. Yeah, it's easier said than done, only because it's like, you know, just simple stuff that fashion students would know. Do you know what I mean? That you might not necessarily know. So it's like it's easier said than done. Like I can ask you to design 20 designs for me and draw
Me.
it like this. Yeah, if I needed help. That, do you know what I mean? Like it's just easier said than done. So yeah.
Well, you know, like you are very much one for putting things on paper. Well,
Yeah.
I think, especially like, you know, when you first started, you was like toying whether you was doing the right course, not the right course.
Yeah.
And you allowed me, thank you for allowing me to do some timeline therapy with you just to help you make that right, you know, whether you was making the right decision on the course by tapping into your future self, asking your future self a question. And because when you did that little bit of an exercise with me, for me as your mum, and I know for other parents, they don't know those skills, but being a master practitioner in NLP, you know, I'm going to use those skills that I have to help those around me. You know, I use it with my friends, I help them when they've got dilemmas and issues, and
Yeah.
sometimes we need solutions, we need to have solutions, and we need support from the right people to make our lives feel easier, a little bit more manageable. And so for you, from my perspective, I can continue to encourage you along the way, even though it's challenging with the lockdown, working from home, not having those resources, just to say, you know, remember what your future self said. Remember that you passed. Remember that, you know, so that you can continue to pull yourself forward and know with some certainty that you're doing the right thing. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So really and truly, for us as the Carter George family, we do a family plan on a yearly basis. We use that to keep track and check in and talk and have conversations and see how things are going. I share probably with you a lot of things that are going on with me with my health and how I'm feeling. I've even have my daughter as my next to kin, isn't it? So if anything was to happen to me, it's my daughter that's going to be the one that's going to know what I want. And when it comes to even for my end of life, you're the one that knows all the things that I want so that they can be executed. Now, as much as it sounds, oh, that's daunting, it is better that you share it with those that you love or care about. For my situation, it is just me with my family. So who else am I going to look to? So now that you know you're the adult, because your brother is still coming up in age, he's going to be 17 tomorrow. Can you believe that?
I know that's
But the
so
mantle
crazy.
is with you, Ishay. And I'm glad that you've allowed, to take the opportunity to hear me out, to know what I want and to follow them through and to check on me to say, Mum, how you doing today? How many times have I said to you guys, you're my eyes? How many
Yeah,
times?
so
You
many
know what I
times.
mean? Loads of times. Sometimes, and you look
Oh,
at me like, you're
I
so
know.
kind. You can't. Why can't you see that? But you know, I have a visual parent, so it's kind of. I am aware that it does put extra strain on you, especially when I'm going through them phases where it's really getting worse, and at times in the past I've had to have surgery. And at those times you have been younger and I've still kind of needed you to rely on again to kind of be my eyes. So I want to say to you, Isha, that I appreciate you. I love you from the depths of my heart. But I thank you for listening to my plans, for my health plans, for the family plans. You are very much still included in our plan, as well as your cat. Even though, what does she do? She did spray my house. Not happy about that. But if you need my help and support, I am there.
Yeah,
Now, going forward now, we're just at the top of the year. Now, what we would do is we talk very often, but in terms of the family plan is how you're getting on. Because I know that you also do trading. So I know that you've taken a step out of it, and I know that you're going to go back into it, and you're looking at the stocks and things like that. But if it wasn't for you, Isha, I wouldn't have known anything about that.
mm,
So with you being very open to opportunities and possibilities that are out there, being so young, being a young investor yourself, being a person who is economically wise and very, very savvy, and you're 21 years old. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And there's loads of people that are not doing that. Now,
yeah,
I say you're the 2.0 because I do feel like you're just ahead of me. And I know you're like, oh, mum, you're doing this stuff. For me, I feel you're ahead, and I just want you to continue to strive, continue to plan, continue to contribute to our family plan, but also, more importantly, continue to create the life that you want. Now, there was a time, can we share this? There was a time we used to scream and shout at each other.
yeah,
Yeah. But my plan was for us to get along. My plan was for me to have peace in my home. My plan, and can I share? You have ADHD. Challenging, challenging. Lord God, grace. But my plan, my desire was for my household to be a certain way. And what did I do? I shared that with you guys. I shared it and I said, this is how I want my home to be. This is how I want. I don't want to come in the house and shout and this, that, the other. And we kind of now have that. And
mm,
it's just so good because we created that. So for anyone who is living in a household with your own children that you brought into the world, and it's screaming and shouting and slamming and mashing up the doors. Come on, right? You can turn it around. And back in the day, it's about making it official. I put a little post out there. Make it official, especially if you've got children with behavioural issues. Make it official. Call them to a family meeting that you want to have a discussion about who they are now and where they're going to be in their future. Review any notes that you make, and even if you've got younger children, they can get involved because you can get them to draw out their plan for the family. You can get them to draw it out and ask them for an explanation. And when you've got other family members around, you can talk on their behalf and get it from them that you're sharing what their plan is for the household. Now, years ago, you all used to be saying, "Oh, I want another sister. I want." Well, that was not part of my plan. Yeah. Now you have your little cat, which fills up the gap. Also, be clear with your goals and then close the deal. Once you've made your plan, close the deal. That's it. This is what we're dealing with, and this is what we're going to work towards. When you've achieved that, you can put in other things and then set a time to review it. I did post the links for the blog, so feel free, have a read. You'll get to see how you can set up your plan and do that for 2021, because did I say 20? Yeah, 2021. Yeah. Because, we are in challenging times, but I feel like sticking together, loving one another is probably the greatest gift that we can have for ourselves. And Isha, I just want to thank you for introducing me to some wider topics, some topics that I would not have really even looked at or even considered. Some things that you've spoken to me on about the woman, the book that I borrowed from you.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and just kind of learning more of a deeper knowledge. It allows me to know more about myself, because even when we've had conversations about womanhood and our power, I haven't seen it how you've seen it. And so I really want to thank you for introducing me to that knowledge as well. So
Do
parents,
you want to share that book?
huh?
Do you want to share the information of the book for people to
Yeah, I've
read?
got it right here. Let me get it. Will it even, is it showing up properly?
Yeah, Anatomy of Female Power. You can get it on Amazon, or you can get it at a cheaper price on Instagram called Indigibooks with a Z.
Because this book is about
Yeah.
£54, isn't it?
Yeah, but I got mine for 19 on the Instagram.
Okay.
And it's called Indigibooks. Mum will put it down
the
somewhere.
Anatomy of Female Power. And why I mention this book is because sometimes I can only talk about my own experience. I have raised my children practically on my own with support from my external family members, maternal and paternal. But the day-to-day grind, it was just me and you guys.
Yeah.
And sometimes as mothers, we feel defeated, we feel weakened, we feel drained, and we don't always feel that we get the support that we need, especially when you're dealing with challenging children or young people. And it's as though you feel like your power has just been diminished, or that it wasn't even there. And I have to admit, some negative thoughts in terms of my inner thoughts of my own self. And, out of the mouth of babes, it took my own child to kind of look at me and say, actually, Mum, you do have power. You don't even realize the power that you have. And I want to say to us as mothers and as fathers out there, we do have power. And we have to enhance that power and not allow the negative behaviors of our children to diminish it. But we must get strength to call our family back to the essence of who they are and grow them up as best as we can. And I know we may have done everything that we have done possible in our power. And you may be feeling at this moment that you need a breakthrough. The breakthrough is deep within you. And when you say enough's enough, I'm not dealing with this behavior no more, they're going to have to change. And I might have shared with you last year when I started blogging and doing the vlogs that one of the things that I did do with my daughter was something from the Strength and Family, Strength and Communities parenting. It was just a one-liner, but it turned everything around. And it was nothing will be done for you or to you until you do X, Y, Z. And would you say that's a fair statement, Ishay?
Yeah.
So I asked you before I even published it, what was it? Because I remember saying that with such authority because I just had enough. But I had enough, but I started to plan. I wanted to plan. So parents, if you're having real problems with your children, I'm asking you to plan and plan a success. Write it down, what you want. And allow, I know this sounds woo-woo, but allow the universe to work with you on that. Allow them to see the goals that you want for your household. And let them come in line with that with you. Stand together, stand tall, and stand strong as a family unit. So thank you, Ishay, because we are coming to the end. We have done our time, but I really appreciate you doing that. You will be seeing some posts because my daughter sent me a video of a new line that you're doing to your business, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm taking appointments now for wig making and stuff like that. So yeah.
All right, but you know we're in the lockdown still, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's appointments for wig making,
okay.
constructing wigs. Yeah.
All right, nice one. So
Yeah.
you did one for me, and
Yes.
that was lovely. I will wear it one day. I'll wear it soon. I will. And
Yeah.
so that I can do maybe have you back for another show on that if you'd like. So you can
Yeah.
go through the process and I can put it out there
I
and
can't share all my secrets, but some things I
no,
can.
you won't share your secrets, but people can see the end results of what you're doing. And
Yeah.
if they're interested in booking an appointment, then they can also look wonderful as you do when you have your wigs on.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. I hope you had a good time. And I want to say hey to Trisha and hey to Carol who've been out there watching. And if you're watching it on the replay, you're always welcome to make any comments. If you want to know how specifically we were able to do our plan, it is all there for you on the website at www.libertycoach.com, and it's the New Year, New Plan blog post. Thank you so much, Ishay. If you'd like to say goodbye.
Goodbye. See you.
And I just want to just give my viewers just a few words of encouragement, and I'll be with you shortly, Ishay, okay?
Okay.
So, parents, it is a new year. We've got the homeschooling. I want to thank you all for, keeping me in touch, sending me your DMs and your emails. It has been great. You have been a great support in the time that I have been away. My intention is to continue with the parenting lives, but next week I will not be here as I will be hosting at the Best You Expo, the virtual expo in the Empowering Women's event. But the week after, we will be back. Now, some of you have shared some of your difficulties during this time. So I'm going to be calling on some of my NLP expert friends to help you with anxiety, PTSD that some of you have said that you're really struggling with, and also come with some coaching techniques that are going to help you, some visualization and meditation. But my key thing that I'm going to leave with you today is to write the vision down. Write how you want to see yourself, your family in the future. Now, this is the person who was angry all the time. I was angry all the time. So much. My children didn't even want to come and talk to me. But I had to make that change. I had to do something about it. And I had to be specific in how I wanted to be. And I was able to do that by committing to a plan, writing out what I wanted and how I wanted to be. So I hope that you've enjoyed this week. Please share, please comment, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Keep strong, keep healthy, and look after yourself. God bless you all. Lots of love, lots of peace to you all. And have a wonderful weekend. Okay? God bless.